No Man's Sky just keeps on surprising us with their free updates. And Update 6 is a co-op game changer, plus more gaming news. Like one game that undid the gacha, while others just intensified it. No Man's Sky just got what feels to be like the 100th free update 9 years after the game's launch. And for us as multiplayer gamers and space game fans, this one definitely sits among the top 3 ones. Update 6, Voyagers, was launched into orbit on August 27th, so you can start right now. With this one, the times of pre-built spaceships are over, because now players can design massive Corvette-class ships from the ground up, using different modules, parts like hulls, wings and engines. We will get these parts from vendors by salvaging shipwrecks or as special rewards. This modular system allows us to have walkable interiors and even functional rooms like kitchens or greenhouses. This way, your starship becomes your own mobile base instead of just a shuttle. And the best part about it is that we can now invite our friends on board and fly together as a real crew. This is such a game changer as it finally lifts that your ship, my ship feeling, letting you stay together from start to landing. And you may even choose to skydive from your ship in mid-flight. Besides that, Hello Games added more quality of life and performance improvements, including AI upscaling through NVIDIA DLSS 4, better lighting, better frame rates, and faster loading times. Voyagers also kicks off a new expedition where players build ships together for unique rewards. To us, it's clear this isn't just a patch, it's a milestone. 9 years on, No Man's Sky keeps expanding the game for free every couple of months. And Voyagers feels like the start of a new chapter in playing this game together with friends. And if you have yet to start your adventure, it's currently 60% off on Steam. Some anime games just go for the look, while others, just like Limit Zero Breakers, decide to collaborate with one of the most revered anime studios of Japan, Studio Mappa, which you might be familiar with if you've seen Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen. This is going to be a story-driven experience, where characters have actual personalities that are not just based on outfits from loot boxes. Although I might want to revise back on the second part, but let's talk about that in a second. The game is focused on monster hunting, just like, the Monster Hunter series, where you battle smaller creatures, massive bosses, and even mythical beasts to get material. The combat will be real-time action combat, combined with an elemental reaction system, like combining fire and wind to create bigger blasts. And the reason why this is part of this news is, you guessed it, it will have different social play features and co-op for 3 players with flexible drop-in, drop-out. There will be boss raids and a shared world to explore together, with a whale-looking airship as the shared hub. The magical synergies we talked about before can be coordinated with your team. Each player controls one of the unique heroes, called Breakers, each with their own fighting styles. But before we wrap things up here on a high note, you know us, and you know your fair share of business models by now. As a free-to-play game, there inevitably will be in-game purchases. Limit Zero Breakers is set to launch for PC and, you guessed it, mobile, with full crossplay in 2026. It is being developed by Vig Game Studio, who made Black Clover Mobile, a game that we're not really familiar with, and published by NCSoft. With its mix of roguelike action, mandatory teamwork, and over-the-top boss battles, Godbreakers aims to scratch the same itch as Hades, but built for squads, because the whole thing is built around co-op. Up to 4 players are supported, with seamless drop-in, drop-out. So it's perfect for quick sessions, as you can even join in from your Steam Deck on the go. In typical roguelike manner, each of the runs drops you into a mix of different biomes, filled with hordes of enemies that drop random powers. These can be stitched together into wild builds, or absolute garbage depending on your luck, I guess. Still, your friends will carry you, right? Right? Because the oversized boss monsters, literal gods at that, will definitely test your build, reaction, and abilities to keep your calm during the absolute chaos that are multiplayer roguelikes. But if you're generally more here for the views of the floor and your friends doing the work, worry not, as players can revive each other mid-fight. The combat looks fast and responsive, with quick and flashy combos, which makes up half of the fun in this genre. The other one is replayability and overpowered, ridiculous power-ups. So we hope that Godbreakers will have it all when it comes out sometime later this year, on PC and PS5, and there's even a demo to try out early on Steam now. HoYoverse just announced their next big IP, based on their Honkai franchise, called Honkai Nexus Anima. And while we do not have much specific info on this one yet, not even confirmed co-op features, we still decided to include this here. Thanks to the convincingly cute visuals, and even more convincingly, me wanting to talk about this. And promise, we're gonna look at more than just the creatures you meet and collect here. But collect is a good starting point, because Nexus Anima combines creature collection with tactical auto-battling, similar to Dota auto chess or teamfight tactics. Players will bond with adorable and not so adorable because what exactly is this? Creatures called anima, and then send them out into battles. The first teaser material suggests a somewhat open world in an urban setting, with a focus on immersive storytelling. It will feature both new and familiar characters from other Hoyo games, such as Kiana from Honkai Impact 3rd. That's the cute part. The not so cute and also not really surprising part is that these characters and creatures will be available on gacha banners, including Eidolons, a system where additional copies of drawn characters yield even stronger effects for that unit. And that's where, in our opinion, the biggest drawback lies. And it's actually souring the cute visuals quite a bit. Because normally, you can always play these types of PvE games as a free-to-play player, with the only negative being missing out on things you liked. But in this case, although to be frank, nothing has been officially confirmed yet, this looks like they will definitely include PvP battles. And good luck going against a whale in a gacha game. If you could not play against others, we hope that Nexus Anima will feature an MMO-light open world, where you can meet other players. But as I said, we don't know much yet. And while we're at the topic of gacha, after facing heavy criticism over solo leveling Arise's PC port, particularly for its gacha mechanics, pay-to-win model, lackluster multiplayer, and underwhelming visuals, Netmarble has decided to not just have Genu, the game's protagonist, have his second awakening, but even the game itself. The result is solo leveling Arise Overdrive, a reimagined version of the franchise split into a distinct standalone title. Launching on PC in mid-November with a console release planned for next year, Overdrive ditches the gacha system in favor of a premium action RPG format featuring 4-player co-op, enhanced graphics, and new story chapters. You will earn hunters and weapons through gameplay, not cash, with deep skill trees and customization. Netmarble's dual approach strategy aims to satisfy both casual mobile users and more dedicated PC and console players, marking what could be one of gaming's most significant "we heard you" moments since No Man's Sky. What if we monetize New Game Plus and make it a glitchy mess? Glitchwalkers, the last paid DLC for Astroneer, answered just that. At least they were upfront with the name. Now the developers are working on the next DLC called Megatech. With our expectations adjusted accordingly, we suppose it's going to answer the question: what if buildings were about 5% larger? Jokes aside, the update will allow players to build massive megastructures based on old and new technology. The update will launch in November this year, alongside a major free update, but info on both is rather scarce yet. When game directors say a feature wasn't quite ready for the reveal in their last major trailer, but now it's suddenly good to go, we can't help but wonder how thoroughly it has been tested. Especially when that big trailer aired just 4 days before the feature reveal. And the feature went live yesterday, all within the span of a week. So yeah, Path of Exile 2 has a market browser now. Maybe approach it with a bit of caution. Okay, you guys, and last but not least, we have a stacked roster of games that you can try out for free just this weekend. The first one is Sworn, an action roguelike set within the Legend of Arthur mythology that we'd highly recommend trying out if you like roguelikes or even if you've never tried one before. Currently, it's still in early access and will soon launch into 1.0. But if that's too grim, why not jump into Unrail 2 for free on Steam to test your friendship and ability to communicate efficiently. It'll definitely make you laugh and scream as you try to put down tracks for your ever-moving train. And lastly, Nightingale is free to try this weekend, a PvE-only open-world survival crafting game in a unique gas lamp fantasy setting. After its early access launch, it struggled quite a bit, but has since gotten multiple big updates that seemingly made this game a whole lot better. But that's all for this week. We wish you a lot of fun in whatever game you're playing, with friends or without, and we'll see you again in the next one.